Let's be honest for a second. Most men have no idea what actually makes a woman think about them when they're not around. They think it's about looks, money, or how many smooth lines they can drop in her DMs. But here's the controversial truth. None of that truly matters if you don't understand psychological attraction, the real secret that keeps a woman's mind spinning about you long after you've left the room. You see, women don't fall for men who chase them. They fall for men who make them chase emotionally. And the moment you understand that, everything changes. The reason she's not texting you back isn't because she's too busy. It's because you've made yourself too predictable. Predictability kills attraction faster than rejection. Here's the twist. Women are not drawn to perfection, they're drawn to emotion. It's not about being the nicest guy in the room, it's about being the man who triggers curiosity, a little confusion, and a spark of challenge. That's the secret sauce most men never learn. How to make her mind wander back to you again and again. This video will expose the subtle techniques and mindset shifts that make women obsess over you. Not because you're pretending, but because you've learned how to connect on a deeper, almost magnetic level. Stay tuned, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to make her think about you nonstop, even when she swears she's moved on. The first guy replies instantly, compliments her every sentence, and double texts when she doesn't respond. The second guy responds with calm confidence, doesn't rush the conversation, and occasionally ends chats first. Who will she think about more? The second one. Always. Why? Because he created space. And in that space, her mind starts to fill in the blanks. Why isn't he chasing me? Is he losing interest? Who's getting his attention? That's when you've got her. Not because you chased, but because you pulled. So remember this. Stop trying to prove your value. Live it. When you stop chasing women, you start attracting them. That's real power. 2. Emotional distance creates desire. Here's what most men completely misunderstand. Women don't desire you when you're too available. They desire you when they can't quite figure you out emotionally. Sounds harsh, but it's the truth. The moment a woman feels like she has you emotionally locked down, when she knows what you're doing, how you feel, and how much you want her, the mystery is gone. And when mystery dies, desire follows. Emotional distance doesn't mean ignoring her or being cold. It means not giving her your emotions on demand. It's the balance between being present and being unpredictable. You give her just enough of your attention to make her feel noticed, but not so much that she feels like she controls you. That's how you keep her thinking about you. See, desire feeds on uncertainty. When a woman isn't sure where she stands with you, she thinks about you more. She replays conversations, analyzes your texts, and wonders if you're losing interest. And that wondering, that mental chaos, is where emotional attraction grows. It's not manipulation, it's natural psychology. People value what they can't easily predict. Men who overshare their emotions too quickly often get friend-zoned. Why? Because they remove the chase, the curiosity, the thrill. When you express everything right away, your feelings, your intentions, your plans, you rob her of the chance to feel the emotional tension that creates attraction. Women want to earn your emotional connection, not just receive it freely. 2. Example. Imagine two men again. The first one tells her he misses her after one date, texts constantly, and always seeks reassurance. The second one enjoys the date, compliments her once, but then doesn't text immediately afterward. He lets her wonder how he feels, and when he finally messages, it's calm and confident. Who's on her mind the next day? The second guy. Because she's emotionally uncertain. That uncertainty keeps her engaged, curious, and drawn in. So remember, don't be emotionally distant to punish her. Be distant to protect your power. Give her space to miss you. That's how emotional desire builds. When she's wondering what's going on in your head, she's already halfway obsessed. 3. Silence speaks louder than texts. Let's be real for a second. Silence is one of the most powerful tools a man can use, but most men are too scared to use it. The moment a woman doesn't reply, they panic. They double text, they send funny memes, they try to check in, all because silence makes them uncomfortable. But here's what most men don't realize. Your silence can speak volumes if you know how to use it. When you stop over-communicating, you stop giving away your emotional control. Silence shows restraint, and restraint shows strength. It sends a message that says, I'm good either way. And that attitude, calm, collected, and unbothered, drives women crazy in the best way possible. Because deep down, every woman is drawn to a man who doesn't need her response to feel validated. You see, constant texting or over talking kills the mystery. The less you say, the more she wonders. The more she wonders, the more she thinks. And that's exactly what you want, to occupy her mind without even being present. That's power. Silence also gives her space to invest. Think about it. When you go quiet, she starts replaying your last conversation, checking your stories, even asking herself if she said something wrong. It's not manipulation, it's human psychology. People naturally pay more attention to what they feel they might be losing. And here's the truth most men don't want to face. If she never reaches out when you go silent, she was never really interested. But if she does, you've just gained the upper hand without saying a single word. Silence filters the real ones from the time wasters. You don't have to respond instantly. You don't have to explain your every move. You don't have to fill every quiet moment with words. The right woman will find your silence intriguing, not annoying. It'll make her wonder what you're thinking, who you're with, and why you're not chasing. And that curiosity, that tiny seed of uncertainty, grows into obsession. So, next time you feel that urge to reach out first, pause. Let the silence do the work for you, because when you stop forcing communication, you create an emotional gap she'll want to fill herself. Remember this the man who controls the silence controls the pace of attraction. And when you master that, she'll be thinking about you even in your quietest moments. 4. Confidence isn't loud, it's controlled. Let's cut the noise. Too many men today confuse confidence with performance. They think being confident means talking louder, flexing harder, or showing off what they've got. But real confidence isn't about being seen, it's about being felt. It's quiet, calm, and steady. You don't have to announce it, people just sense it. And here's where a lot of men need to wake up. The reason women lose interest in you isn't always because you're too nice. Sometimes it's because you're trying too hard to prove something. You overcompensate. You post every achievement, brag about your plans, or act overly confident around her to look alpha. But that's not confidence. Yes, that's insecurity dressed up in noise. Real confidence comes from emotional control, the ability to stay centered no matter what's happening around you. When she pulls away, you don't panic. When she tests your patience, you don't argue or beg for understanding. You stay calm, focused, and grounded. That's what makes her respect you. And respect always comes before attraction. Too many men crumble at the first sign of rejection. They let one unanswered text ruin their entire mood. That's weak energy. A confident man doesn't attach his self-worth to a woman's reaction. He knows his value exists with or without her validation. It's time to wake up. Confidence isn't about control over her, it's about control over yourself. You can't expect a woman to be drawn to you if you can't even control your emotions. Every time you react out of insecurity, it'd be by chasing, arguing, or over explaining, you're teaching her that you're not in charge of your own mind. A confident man moves differently. He listens more than he talks. He doesn't try to dominate the room, he just belongs in it. He's aware, composed, and unpredictable in the best way. That's the kind of energy that makes women think about you long after you're gone. So, men, stop faking confidence. Stop thinking that being loud or aggressive makes you powerful. It doesn't. Learn to master your emotions, hold your ground, and speak less but mean more. The calm man is the dangerous one because he doesn't need to prove himself to anyone. And that right there is the kind of confidence that keeps you in her mind long after the noise fades. 5. Mystery beats consistency. Every time. Here's the thing most men completely miss. Women are not attracted to certainty, they're attracted to mystery. You can be consistent, loyal, and available, and she'll still lose interest if there's no spark of unpredictability. Why? Because the human mind craves what it doesn't fully understand. When you're too predictable, you stop stimulating her imagination, and that's where attraction dies. Most men think being consistent means texting her every morning, always saying the same sweet things, always showing up on time, always doing the same routine. But guess what? That kind of consistency is boring. It makes her feel safe, yes, but not excited. And excitement is what keeps her thinking about you when you're not around. You need to understand this difference. Women fall in love with patterns of emotion, not routines of behavior. When she doesn't know what's coming next, when you surprise her, make her laugh unexpectedly, or change the energy, she feels something real. It's the unpredictability that keeps her curious, and curiosity is the foundation of desire. Now, don't twist this. Mystery doesn't mean playing games or being dishonest. It means maintaining your individuality. It means she doesn't fully own you mentally or emotionally. You're present but not exposed. You share but not everything. You keep parts of your world private, your plans, your ambitions, your thoughts. You make her earn access to your deeper side. That's how she starts to wonder about you. She'll think about where you are, what you're doing, what's going through your mind. And that wondering becomes obsession. Men need to wake up. Like, stop thinking that doing the same thing over and over will make her stay. Routine kills curiosity. Predictability makes her comfortable, but comfort doesn't equal attraction. If you want to stay on her mind, you have to keep her feeling. The truth is, women remember men who keep them emotionally alert, not the ones who hand over all their cards from day one. Be mysterious enough that she keeps reaching for you. That's what creates emotional gravity, the pull that makes her think about you nonstop. So, next time you think being consistent is the answer, pause. Ask yourself, are you consistent or are you predictable? Because mystery is what separates the man she respects from the man she forgets. 6. Be the prize, not the pursuer. Here's a truth that'll sting a bit. Most men have completely forgotten their value. They treat women like trophies to be won instead of equals who should earn access to their world. Somewhere along the line, men became the chasers, constantly proving, pleasing, and performing for female attention. But here's the uncomfortable fact. The moment you start chasing, you stop being the prize. Men used to understand this instinctively. A real man used to know that he brings value. His mindset, his direction, his discipline. But now, too many men base their worth on whether or not a woman chooses them. They change their behavior, their interests, and even their morals just to get a chance. That's weak energy, and women can smell it instantly. You've got to flip the script, because the man who sees himself as the prize doesn't chase, he attracts. He knows that his time, attention, and energy are valuable. He doesn't hand them out to anyone just because she looks good or gives him a little attention. He's selective. He's intentional. And that's exactly what makes women want him more. Being the prize doesn't mean arrogance. It means understanding that your worth doesn't depend on her approval. It's having standards. It's saying, I don't need every woman, I just need the right one. That mindset changes everything. It puts you in control. When you see yourself as the prize, your energy shifts. You don't beg for her time. You make her earn your consistency. You don't rush to impress. You let your presence speak for itself. You don't lose focus on your purpose. You make it your priority. Because a man with purpose is always more attractive than a man chasing validation. Wake up, men. Stop treating women like the goal. You are the goal. You're the foundation, the stability, the energy she wants to be around. The moment you start believing that, your entire approach changes. You'll stop overinvesting, stop seeking approval, and start commanding respect. Remember, she's supposed to feel lucky to have your attention, not the other way around. When you embody that energy, calm, confident, and focused, she'll think about you differently. Not as another guy chasing her, but as the man she doesn't want to lose. 7. Trigger her curiosity, not her comfort. Here's the mistake most men make. They try too hard to make a woman comfortable instead of making her curious. They think if they're nice enough, available enough, and safe enough, she'll fall for them. But that's not how attraction works. Comfort feels good, but curiosity keeps her hooked. The difference between the man she forgets and the one she can't stop thinking about? The second one keeps her guessing. See, when a woman feels too comfortable too soon, she stops being emotionally alert. She stops wondering about you. You become predictable, familiar, and eventually forgettable. But when you trigger her curiosity, you activate a powerful psychological loop. Her mind starts asking questions. What's he really thinking? Why does he act that way? What's his story? And every time she asks one of those questions, She's thinking about you. Triggering curiosity isn't about manipulation. It's about mystery with authenticity. You don't have to fake anything, and you just have to stop giving everything away. Don't tell her your entire life story in the first week. Don't always respond immediately. Don't explain every little thing you do. Leave gaps. Let her connect the dots. Because when she's doing that, she's investing mentally. And that's when emotional attraction begins. Men today need to wake up to this simple truth. If you make a woman too comfortable, she'll categorize you as safe, not exciting. And no one lies awake at night thinking about safe. Women think about men who make them feel something unpredictable, something they can't fully read. That tension, that balance between comfort and mystery, is what keeps her mind spinning. You don't have to be rude or distant. Just be unpredictable in small, natural ways. Be the guy who changes the pace, the one who switches from playful to serious without warning, the one who makes her laugh one moment and think deeply the next. That's how you become memorable. Comfort is for friends. Curiosity is for attraction. If you want her to feel drawn to you, make her mind work for it. Let her wonder what you're doing, what you're feeling, and what's next. Because when she's curious, she's emotionally invested. So stop being the man who tries to make her feel safe. Be the man who makes her feel alive. That's the version she won't stop thinking about. 8. Detach from outcome. That's real power. Most men lose women not because they lack looks or charm, but because they're too attached to the outcome. They want things to go a certain way, they expect specific reactions, and they panic when they don't get them. That energy is suffocating. You can't attract what you're clinging to. The tighter you hold on, the faster it slips away. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop needing things to happen your way. It's emotional control. When you're detached, you're free. You stop trying to impress. You stop chasing validation. You stop caring whether she texts back or not. Because your value isn't defined by her response. And that right there is power. Women feel energy more than words. The moment they sense that you're too invested too early, they subconsciously pull away. Not because they don't like you, but because that neediness feels heavy. But when you're detached, your energy feels light, confident, and self assured. You're not trying to prove yourself, you're simply being yourself. The truth is, detachment creates attraction because it sends one message: I'm in control of me. That's rare. Most men crumble under pressure, overthink every move, and base their mood on her attention. But a man who's detached, he's centered. He's focused on his life, his growth, his purpose, and that makes him magnetic. Men, you've got to wake up. You've been taught to measure success by whether she stays or leaves. Wrong. Your success is how little her actions shake your peace. Because when you stop reacting emotionally to every little thing she does, you become unpredictable. You stop being a follower in the dynamic, but can become the leader. Detachment is what separates men who are desired from those who are disposable. When you're not chasing, when you're not begging for attention, when you're not obsessing over every reply, then you're creating emotional gravity. You're making her feel like she could lose you at any moment, and that thought alone keeps her thinking about you nonstop. So remember this: never beg for what should come naturally. Never lose sleep over what isn't choosing you. When you detach from outcomes, you gain control over yourself. And the man who controls himself will always control the frame of attraction. That's not arrogance, that's self mastery. And in the game of desire, self mastery always wins. 9. Respect makes you irresistible, not validation. Here's the harsh reality: most men are desperate for validation, not respect. They want to be liked, noticed, and approved of by women so badly that they forget what really creates attraction: respect. A woman might like you for being sweet or funny, but she only becomes obsessed when she respects you. And that's the line too many men cross without realizing it. Men today are caught in the trap of trying to be the nice guy. They overcompliment, overtext, and overshare, hoping to be seen as different. But in the process, they stop being masculine. They become approval seekers. Every time you try to impress a woman to gain her attention, you're telling her that her opinion matters more than your self-respect. And trust me, she can feel that. Respect is built when you have boundaries. When you don't tolerate disrespect, emotional manipulation, or flaky behavior. It's built when you say no without fear, when you walk away from anything that costs your peace. That's when she starts thinking, this man doesn't need me, he chooses me. That thought alone separates you from 90% of men she's met. You've got to understand this. Validation feels good, but it's temporary. Respect lasts. Validation makes her smile for a moment. Respect makes her think about you for days. It's easy to find men who flatter her. It's rare to find one who makes her rise to his standard. Be that man. And to every man reading this, wake up. Stop lowering your value for temporary attention. Stop acting like your worth depends on her approval. Every time you try to please everyone, you lose the one thing that makes you attractive, your backbone. A woman might enjoy your attention, but she'll crave your respect. If she crosses a line, call it out. If she plays games, step back. You're not punishing her. You're showing her what you stand for. Women think constantly about men they respect, not the ones who bend over backward for approval. So stop chasing validation. Start demanding respect through your actions, your composure, and your standards. Because once a woman respects you, she'll never look at you the same way again. And that's what keeps her mind circling back to you, and not out of curiosity, but out of deep, lasting admiration. 10. Walk away and let her mind do the work. Here's the final truth most men refuse to accept. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is just to walk away. Not out of anger, not out of ego, but out of self-respect. Because when you walk away, you reclaim your power. You show her and yourself that your peace, your focus, and your dignity will always come first. Men today stay in situations long after the energy has died. They keep trying to convince women who've already checked out. They send paragraphs, over-explain, and beg for closure. But here's the reality. You don't convince someone to value you. You show them what they lost by leaving, and nothing shows that clearer than silence and absence. Walking away creates space, and in that space, something powerful happens. She starts to think. She replays your last moments together. She wonders if she misjudged you. She questions if she'll ever meet another man who carried himself like you did. That's the psychological twist. When you're gone, your energy speaks louder than your words ever could. But this isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional control. You walk away because you know when to stop investing where there's no return. You walk away because begging kills attraction. You walk away because you'd rather keep your pride than lose yourself trying to be understood. That's strength. Men, wake up. If she's not matching your energy, if she's inconsistent, if she's playing games, stop entertaining it. When you walk away calmly without drama, you become unforgettable. Because real men don't force connections. They inspire reflection. And trust this, the moment you stop chasing is often the moment she starts realizing your value. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. Because confidence is loud when you're around, but it's deafening when you're gone. So learn to walk away with grace, not bitterness. Let her mind do the work. Because absence isn't the end, it's the final lesson. And if she's truly meant to think about you nonstop, it won't be because you stayed. It'll be because you had the strength to leave. Conclusion. Let's end this with something that might upset a few people. But it's the truth most men are too afraid to say out loud. In today's world, women are not short of attention. They're short of respect-worthy men. Every man wants to be desired, but very few are actually desirable. Not because of looks or money, but because they've traded masculinity for approval. They've become too emotional, too reactive, too eager to please, and then wonder why women stop chasing them. Here's the controversial part. A woman can love you deeply and still lose attraction if she stops respecting you. Love isn't enough. You can buy her gifts, give her time, and be her biggest supporter, but if she ever senses that you've lost your edge, your purpose, or your backbone, she'll start to drift. It's not cruelty. It's instinct. A woman is wired to follow strength, not softness disguised as love. Men, this video isn't about manipulation. It's about remembering your power. It's about becoming the man whose presence speaks louder than his words, whose silence creates tension, and whose boundaries command respect. When you move like that, you won't need to chase anyone. You'll naturally attract women who think about you long after you're gone. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a situation where your silence or distance made her come back? Or maybe where chasing made her disappear? Drop your experiences in the comments. I want to connect with you, hear your story, and even reach out personally. Let's build something real here. Men learning from men, helping each other grow stronger and sharper in the modern dating world. And remember this, the next video might just expose a truth that'll make even more people uncomfortable, because this conversation is far from over. Stay tuned.